Hola, mi gente, and welcome to another episode of Growing Up Spanglish. This time around, we're coming to you live from Brooklyn, specifically Café Antilles in Little Caribbean, so it's very fitting for the show. I am your host, Roxy, Rosaline, as we have all gotten to know throughout this season. And we're here with the owners of the cafe. I'll let them introduce themselves.
AKA Rosalinda. I'm Drew, you know. Oh, damn, step all over my intro, son. All right, go ahead, bro. You excited? No.
Drew.
You're excited. Go ahead.
I'm Eric. Hi, everybody. Chef Eric Niccolo in the house.
I love it. I love it. Did you want to add more to your intro?
I had like a whole thing, but he fucked it up. It's all, we'll save it for later.
I'll just for the outro.
Right.
I'm going to stay quiet now. Actually, I'm going to leave out.
I'm very excited. This is our first episode where we are outside of the studio, where we have a live audience, and it's also the last episode of season 2. So just really exciting. And this kind of brings it all full circle because the theme song that you have all been listening to for the last 2 seasons was actually produced by Drew and Tumi of Royalty Statements. So now you get to hear from half of that duo and bring it all, here to this venture that they've recently just launched. And we'll get to talking about all of that. So let's kick it off with how did you two meet?
Okay. From the very beginning. All right, so if you know Royalty Statements and Doomy, then you know that Doomy's my frat brother.
Okay.
And Eric is also my frat brother.
Oh, okay.
He is my chapter brother. We met in college.
What's the frat name?
Lambda Sigma Upsilon, LSU.
Okay.
Yeah. So I pledged before him. He pledged.
I pledged in 2006.
I pledged in 2000 something before him.
2000.
And then Doomy pledged after you, right? Doomy's like 08-ish. Yeah, my frat brothers, and so you do that pledge process, and that pledge process is crazy, and so you wind up kind of building this bond,
right? And
it carries on through life. So, FYI, this wonderful sound man is also my frat brother, also my line brother.
I love that.
So we pledged at the same time in 2000. So I mean that's kind of like LSU brought all of us together, and it's crazy that almost 20 years later, like we're still out here rocking. The relationships are stronger and the ventures are cooler
and bigger
and riskier.
Right.
Much and riskier because honestly, like, LSU was really the foundation for all of this shit, starting with doing parties. We started doing parties in college, myself and another one of our chapter brothers.
Yeah.
The first party we did was a crossing party for your line? Somebody else's line.
I think it was my line.
Somebody's line. We did a crossing party, and the shit went crazy, and it was like, I think we can make money doing this.
Yeah.
And then Doomy crossed, and we had a DJ, and it was like, oh shit, we got a free DJ. And me and Doomy became cool, and me and Eric were just always cool.
Always had a great relationship.
Yeah, we just never had a reason to work together. He was working like in restaurants and stuff. We both have worked in restaurants, obviously. We both did culinary and hospitality, right?
Hospitality, yeah.
Yeah. And he was like managing chain restaurants that were flying him out all over the world and shit. And it was like, damn, I think we could do something, but the timing was never right. Then you came out here, right?
Yeah.
You've been out here for a little bit?
Yeah, I moved back to New York about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I moved back to Brooklyn. Probably one of the better decisions I've ever made. My career and just my personal life. And we had this opportunity come up with the cafe, and Drew just came in like
My dog.
came in like a wrecking ball. Like and did the best creative director.
Thank
the
you.
best
Thank you.
partner
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
never
Thank you.
asked for.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm
No,
really
that's
grateful
amazing
that
because
he's
sometimes you get
jumped
into
in on this
business.
project. Oh, nah. man.
Right.
It's all trust and all love.
Love that.
In this project here.
Before
Absolutely.
we dive into the business aspect of it, because I definitely want to ask a lot of things, but let's go back to Florida because
Yes.
neither of you are originally from Florida.
Correct.
You're both from New York.
From New York, I'm from Jersey.
You're from Jersey, my bad.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I don't want the New York people saying, yeah,
Right,
Jersey,
right,
New York ain't this. I'm from Jersey.
Got
It's
you.
not the same.
But you both moved to North Miami specifically,
Yes.
NMB
Yeah.
area, and lived there for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
And then came back here. So a few questions, right? Bringing it to Miami because that's where I'm from. That's where the podcast was born. Just kind of wondering, what were some of the things that helped you acclimate to South Florida, both being Caribbean people?
You go
Oh
first.
yeah. I think I was really lucky because I have a lot of family in South Florida.
Oh, okay.
At the time when I moved there, I had like 3 aunts, 2 uncles that lived there. My grandmother lived there, tons of cousins. So it was pretty easy for me to acclimate to South Florida living because I kind of had the same lifestyle in New York, and it kind of just transferred over to Miami. So yeah, my family was always a big part of my life, and just moving to South Florida just made the transition a lot easier.
It's not my story.
Nah.
So another one of our chapter brothers named Todd is Jamaican. And honestly, Todd was one who really like put me on to dance hall. And I'll say dance hall is what made me love Miami. And Miami is what really got me into producing dance hall. So from the royalty statements aspect, as a producer initially, like I was just doing like hip hop, backpack stuff, very sample focused. A lot of my mentors are like well-known hip hop producers, but meeting Todd, our Jamaican chapter brother, and kind of going to like these Jamaican parties in Miami that I had never gone to, these all-inclusives where you just, you buy your ticket. And
Your feds. Yeah.
I had never really been exposed to that. So the most really in high school, like, you go and they will play the classics, the heads high.
Let's explain to the people who may not be familiar with what a FET is. Like,
Okay.
because you said the all-inclusive. If they don't understand, they're like, a party. No, it's not a party.
For me, the best way to describe it, like, I felt at home.
Yeah.
I would go, like, I was in Miami. I only knew a few people. I had some family there. But Todd introduced me to these fets, to these parties, all inclusive. You would pay your ticket.
Right.
You walk in, and it's just, the world is open to you. They would have these big name DJs playing. Big artists would pop up randomly to these events that it's just like how we are here. It's an intimate vibe in one corner, and then you go over there, and it's 100 people dancing in a circle.
Right.
It's
a huge space. Sometimes they're outside. Sometimes they're like in parks, and people just roll up in their car. Everybody, it's like, what do you call those? Because I don't play sports and I don't know anything. Tailgating. It's like tailgating.
Okay, yes.
So people come with their cars, and everybody's cars is like a section of the club. This section of the club is doing this section, and then everybody has their own alcohol. So like when you have like a cooler fete, that means everybody brought their own shit, and it gets very lit, very crazy.
And for me, it was like feeling that energy and feeling so welcome in that community right away. Like, that made me love Miami.
Yeah.
That made me want to be there. It didn't feel unfamiliar anymore. It felt like I had been there my whole life.
That's dope. That's amazing that you were able to have that experience. I mean, I always think that like the college experience that a lot of people have helps them, make lifelong friends and things like that.
Absolutely.
So it's really amazing to hear that you were able to experience that.
My college experience for sure has shaped the adult that I am right now. That's where I found myself. That's where I got comfortable in my own skin. That's where I really honed in on my identity. You're 19, 18, whatever in college, and you're still trying to figure so many things out. And then it was like, oh no, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Did you ever go to Truck Stop? Yeah. And Runway?
Runway, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Come on. Those are like the classics.
Right. That's just funny. But let's talk about the food. You had family there, so you're getting that. How did you tap into? Did you ever tap into a Dominican community?
Not really.
Okay.
Honestly, it's funny, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm here right now. Being in Miami for so long, I never really found like a Dominican hub.
Yeah.
I mean, there was Típico, and that was kind of it for me. And then years ago, there was the Boulevard.
Bully. Yo, the most ratchet, craziest shit was. That's where I found myself in Miami
At the Boulevard, Le Boulevard Café.
Yo, late nights, not being 21, being able to go to a club
Oh my
in
God.
Miami.
No, the Bully was crazy, but the Bully, like, it started off real super Dominican.
Yeah.
So, like, all right, I got to Miami and I was like, where are my people? So I Le Boulevard Café, let's go
Right.
check it out. So I went, and the first 2 times I went, it was like, oh, damn, bachata,
Yeah.
nice. And then all of a sudden, it started getting kind of trapped out. And it was a different kind of fun. It was like an edgy fun. And then the last time I went, I was like, I don't think this is for me anymore. There was beer bottles breaking. It was fights. It was wild.
Boy, nigga, that shit was for me. That shit was for me.
You got a different experience.
Because I came from New York, this like nice Haitian boy. Came to Miami, again, this nice Haitian boy, this nice Haitian kid. And I got to kind of like come on my show.
Spread your wings a little.
Yeah, exactly. I got to spread my wings, got to finally go out. You know what I mean? I lived alone.
Okay.
So you were looking for the
College,
most
I was
ratchetest.
I was looking for trouble. I was looking for trouble for 15 years. Found it.
At the Bully. Yo, you found it at the
I found
Bully.
it everywhere in Miami. But yeah, that was my experience of going to Miami. Like, yo, let's break out of your shell a little bit.
Yeah.
You're not just this nice Haitian boy. Not only is there edgy, but a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
You get to a lot more experiences in
Found
Miami.
some variety.
Exactly.
And you found the chimney truck. The chimney truck
Yeah.
outside of the Boulevard.
Chimney truck outside of Studio 60. Oh
Chimney.
my God.
The Chimney was like legendary for like a 5-year period. He was the god, the Chimney god. And
Even if you didn't go to Bully, if you partied like in downtown or any, you would go find the chimney truck.
that was how everybody ended the night. You
Right.
needed that greasy thing to get you home and not crash.
Yep. So that out.
Right, right.
I haven't seen the
to make
Chimney
it
guy in
nice.
like 6 years though. I don't know what happened to him.
There's a bunch of chimney trucks now, but they're actually more in Broward, like Miramar and stuff like that. Yeah.
Broward stole all the Dominicans.
You know,
Whack.
Broward, I'm not gonna lie, Broward has a way, I think a lot of like communities, when they're priced out of
Yep.
Miami, they find their way to Broward, and then you do find smaller, like in Miramar, there's a bunch of Dominican spots that I have found. There's Puerto Rican spots as well. So I think Broward does have a way of like, because like, you know, it's a little bit more affordable in that
Yeah.
area, so people go. But I have found a similar experience where like I haven't really tapped into a Puerto Rican community the way that like New York has
Yeah.
a Puerto Rican community.
I don't know where the Puerto Ricans are in Miami.
They all went
Yeah.
to Central Florida.
They
yeah,
all
they're all
in Orlando.
They're all in
went to
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee.
They're all in Kissimmee. Yeah.
Exactly. All of them are over there. They
Right.
all like left Miami.
Right. But nonetheless, I'm glad that you guys were able to tap into something that you felt, welcome
Yeah.
to the city. And so once you've kind of lived your life and you've done all these things, you then decide to come back to New York and open. What made you decide to open a cafe in the first place?
Okay.
This is post-pandemic. People
Yeah.
are pretty scared
Yep.
to do anything.
Yeah.
How do you decide that this is what you guys want to do?
So he came to me with the opportunity. Essentially, he was bartending and kind of cooking, running food service for the bar next door.
Next door? Okay.
Bodega Lounge, you know,
Yeah,
those are our
Bodega
partners.
Lounge, yeah. Big ups to them.
And they had this space, it was kind of empty sitting here. And he came up to me, he was like, yo, I think I want to do something with this space. And he was like, yo, help me write a proposal. So I helped him write the proposal. And as we were writing it, I was like, damn, this shit sounds kind of cool. And I've always wanted a restaurant. So me and Doomy had the studio in Fort Lauderdale
Yeah.
for 7 years. Transitioned out of that, moved to New York, and I've been kind of just trying to figure stuff out. I've been doing a couple things here and there. I did some events, I did some other stuff, but nothing where I like put roots down. And so when he came to me with that opportunity, it sounded interesting. I said, "Yo, man, let me get in on this with you." And I was like, I got a little money saved up. I could help out. Yeah.
Need that.
Yeah. So we're self-funded. There's no loan. So we got real skin in the game.
Wow,
on,
amen to that.
on some
That's
Dame
amazing.
Dash
Some
shit.
major risks
You know,
we've taken.
I haven't slept in 3 months.
no
You have
sleep.
A child, so you basically haven't slept in a year.
Yo, straight. Oh my God. My baby though. She's 9 months old.
Yeah.
That's life changing.
Right.
Life changing. So surreal. Like you took the hard left to the baby. That's my little girl. But yeah. No. So Eric brought the opportunity to me. He was working next door. I put some money up and creative directed the concept. Together we designed the menu from top to bottom. Again, he's Haitian. I'm Dominican. Over the last 20 years, especially once I pledged, it's become really important for me to kind of show that Haitians and Dominicans can kind of have a solid relationship. There's a lot of stigmas that come with that relationship. So in my experience, the people who are usually shocked are the people who are from Haiti or from DR. I feel like people from Miami and people from New York, like Haitians been rocking with Dominicans and vice versa.
Right.
But it's wild. Even when I was doing royalty statements with Doomy, who's also Haitian. Some of the stuff people would say online was wild, like talking crazy, reckless, But for me, it was always really important over the last 20 years to show that I can do stuff with Haitians, not only be friends, but that we can do dope, really fly shit, that we can impact the community. And I think this little space, it's small, but I think it's doing what we set out for it to do. I think people are coming in and they're really intrigued, and then I think they're finding out a little bit of the backstory. I think they're seeing the logo, that's the island of Hispaniola, and they're asking, what is that? Hold on, who's Haitian? Haitian and Dominican. The reaction is usually like, get the hell out of here, Haitian and Dominican.
And you know what? That reaction still right now surprises me. I mean, we're in 2024. You know what I mean? I think that kind of reaction was from the older generation. That Haitian and Dominicans can't get along. We can't form businesses. We can't have lifelong friendships. But this newer generation, I think,
I think they're embracing it.
open. We're more open. Exactly, they're embracing this. Still, people are like, shop Haitian, Dominican.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my boy for 20 years. That's my
Yeah.
brother. I love this guy.
Right.
Love you too, bro. I love you too.
I think everybody should kind of put those notions in the past exactly where they belong.
Really?
It's the future. I think we're setting the example of this Caribbean and African diaspora that we can do cool shit together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Put
that's the
old shit in
legacy that
past.
you're hoping to.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Put that old shit in the past. Let's bring forth, this new energy, this new kind of love
Yeah.
to the future.
I think a lot of the negative stigma that happens is tied into politics that happen on the island, and people can feel however they want. They're valid in their feelings. We, as Dominican American and Haitian American, the truth is the politics over there don't affect me. So I have the luxury of just judging him as my friend, and this is one of my best friends. I don't care that he's Haitian. I'm not bringing politics from another country into my friendship with this guy.
Right. No, and that's amazing to hear, because I think that a lot, even for example, Puerto Ricans and Cubans have that same similar rivalry where it's just kind of but why?
Where did
I
you
wouldn't get that.
Why? Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, but I think it is amazing to kind of create those moments where you can show people and surprise them, and they come here and they're like, oh wow, you guys are doing this together. And then the food.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yes. So the food.
The food is amazing.
Yeah.
I got to
Oh my
taste some
God.
of the food.
Yeah.
There is a plátano creme brulee latte.
Yeah.
That was very delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's talk about the influence on the menu.
Okay.
How did you all agree on the concepts of the food and what you were going to, mesh in there?
So once we had the space, once we knew we were opening the space, we created the concept. We knew it was going to be Antilles Cafe, and we knew we wanted to figure out how to tie in Haitian and Dominican influence, but we're in the heart of a very broad Caribbean neighborhood. So we wanted to do food that the neighborhood could understand, but we wanted to kind of elevate it and put our Haitian and Dominican twist on it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where you get the plantain brûlée latte. Plantain is such an important food for African diaspora, Caribbean diaspora, specifically for Dominicans and for Haitians. If we're gonna do coffee in an elevated way, we wanted to include plantain. That latte came from a conversation with Doomy.
Yeah.
Then we sat down and we started designing the rest of the menu, and I actually had a phone call with you, and you were like, yo, this menu is cool, but where the hell is the mango? And I was like, oh. Yo, mango is such an iconic Dominican dish.
Iconic.
But what we didn't want to do was just have like a plate of mango and a piece of salami. Like, we're in New York. You can go anywhere in the Heights and get mango con salami. So we wanted to figure out a unique way to present all these classics.
Yeah.
And that's where you came in with the croquette idea. And we went into the lab and we.
Thank you, Roxy, for creating a hit.
Because
You put a hit.
I'll tell you, that is one of the most. We sell out of that croquette every day. Every day we've sold out of that thing.
Also, thank you, Roxy, for giving us the most labor-intensive item that
Yo,
we have on the menu. It takes hours to make.
I love
It
it.
took time for you to learn how to make
And the
croquette.
people love
And the
it.
people love it.
They do.
And the people really, really like it.
honestly, like we're about to hire somebody just to roll croquettes
Just honestly, no,
because
you're not
it's
lying.
so much work, but the payoff.
I
is
want someone's abuela or tia back there
Right?
rolling it up
Yo,
with their
please.
love.
If you can find us an abuela or a tia, let her know we're hiring.
Yes.
We will pay her well, because I'm tired of rolling croquettes.
Same.
Yeah.
I love that though because yes, you're hands on, but it just also reminds me of I don't know if you've had either of you have had the experience, but like when I was younger, I used to do that stuff with my mom. My mom loved sorullitos,
Yeah.
which I don't know if either of you are familiar with it, but it's like corn, like a croqueta kind of, but it's cornmeal, and you make it into this little like long thing.
Okay.
Deep fry it. Sometimes you can put cheese in it. My mom loves those.
Sounds
And I
delicious.
used to,
Yeah.
make those with her because that's what she likes. Or we would make like empanadillas, and I would sit there with the fork and make the
So you
the
sealing
little
them.
seals. Yeah. So I love the fact that you're doing that. You're there. You're hands on. You're making
Yeah,
the
yeah, we're
croquetas
definitely
for the
hands
people.
on, and like tying in or piggybacking off of that. I never cooked with my mother. My mother's not like, she doesn't enjoy cooking. She cooks great, but she doesn't enjoy cooking. But I cooked with my grandmother. My grandmother's like my second mom. She helped raise me.
Yes.
I mean, you know the story, single mom. So like grandma was heavy influence in my
Right.
life, and I cooked a lot with my grandmother. One of the dishes that we're rolling out that I want you to try before you leave is this dish called chin chin.
Okay.
Haiti has a version of it called maimoulin.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
essentially,
Maimoulin.
it's like
Is it?
like polenta,
Yeah, it's
Ah,
cornmeal.
okay.
cornmeal, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
this is something that my grandmother makes for me and for my brothers on our birthday.
Okay.
My grandmother's almost 100 years old. She's 98 years old, so she's pretty healthy, but she can't stir this thing for an hour and a half. So once a year, she gets the energy and she stirs this pot for an hour and a half for her grandson's birthday. And so,
Labor of love.
exactly, labor of love. And so we're bringing that
Is
dish.
it sweet or salty or savory?
It's a combo,
Oh,
a combo of the two.
Is it
Yeah.
cornmeal?
Cornmeal, a little
So it's
coconut
yellow?
milk. Yeah, it's yellow.
Oh, I think we make this too.
You guys call it funche.
Oh, okay.
You ever had that?
I feel like I have, but
sure you
not
have.
that name. But
Not- okay.
it'll come to me. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like grits. It's like polenta.
Right.
It's cornmeal, but like I said, it's something that my grandmother. It's really special to me, and so I had to like incorporate that.
I love
in this.
that. Right. So is it going to be a breakfast dish?
It's not a breakfast dish. So the whole idea of the restaurant is really, it's kind of tapas. We try to make all these classic versions of this food, right? But where you can share it. The whole point of this, it's a small space. We wanted people to have small plates that they can share. So if the three of us are sitting at this table, we would order 7 or 8 plates, and we all just pick, right? So like tapas style. So with the chin chin, we're doing it like in it's like a cake, chin chin cake.
And, and we pair that with soulful. That's like a bean sauce that Haitian put on
Oh my
everything.
God, that's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I remember growing up having mine and soulful that my mother made for me all the time. That was like me and my sister's favorite dish that my mom made for us. And I feel really good we could kind of bring that energy here into this kitchen. Because although he didn't cook with his mother, I cooked with my mom. I cook with my mom a lot.
Got it. Have the moms been?
My mother, so my mother is an interior designer, and she was very involved in helping me with the design, but she hasn't been here since we opened.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's on deck.
Okay.
My mother passed away about 3 years ago, and that's and that's one of the
Way to bring down the vibe.
No, dead mom vibes. Sorry, growing up Spanglish. I didn't want to bring the dead mom vibes.
My mom passed away.
So we have to have like dish in her honor.
We have there's quite a few things that screams my mother. In this place, a lot of the equipment that we use, the tree that's in the front here, the postonera that we use here. That's definitely bringing.
Yeah.
Your mom's
I love that.
like a warm hug from beyond.
Yes.
I love that.
A scary warm hug.
Wait, can we talk about the tree?
Yeah, let's talk about this tree.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the tree. The
Yo.
plátano tree.
Yo.
Woody. So we were in here literally, like it was like a Wednesday, and me and AE were talking. We're like, damn, bro, it's nice, but we're missing a banana tree. We need that. And they walked in, Woody and his wife walked in like an hour later, like, damn, this place is nice. You guys need a banana tree. We have one. You guys want it? Like, yes, we want the banana tree. And Wood literally dragged it on a cart, and 2 hours later, we had a banana tree. We put it into the air, and it was like in 3 hours we had it.
Make sure that it survives.
Prayer. Lots and lots of prayer.
Holy water every night.
We talked to her. First of all, her name is Plantania. And we talked to her. We give her little massages, make sure that she's fed every day.
Got it.
And we pray over her that
And she will bear fruit.
Die.
Hopefully.
We just don't want her to die.
She hasn't died
As
yet.
long as that's,
We also have a grow light for her.
Oh,
So when we
okay.
leave here at night, we plug in the grow light, and she gets some fake sunshine.
So there's like, you have to do your research to like,
But honestly, that's been kind of like our experience here is people have been supporting us quite a bit.
Yeah.
People have been doing, again, shout out to Woody back there, doing work just on the street, helping us out, giving us shit. There's just been a lot of love, not only from my friends and family, but from the neighborhood.
Yeah, I
We're
think-
like, do you need plants? We're like, yeah, bring us some plants.
I
Need
was
this?
just
Bring it.
telling them earlier, I was like, you know, New Yorkers have a stigma of like being rude or like cold. And this is from a Miami person. I don't mean to offend anyone. However, what I will say is that our experience thus far has been quite the opposite. And just sitting here alone this morning when we were just here for a few hours, every person that came in felt like they knew you guys. Like they were everybody came in so chipper, so happy, smiling, talking, chatting it up. And I was just like, this is so nice. Like this feels so like friendly, neighborhood, comfortable vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. I was here this morning and I didn't know many of those people. I maybe knew 2 or 3 of those
I would
people.
not have guessed.
Just even the people who we hug.
Yeah.
Just met them.
We hug
want them-
everybody.
yeah,
we hug
we're
everybody.
big huggers.
We're just huggers.
We're big
It's-
huggers.
I think we've made it a point to deliberately set a tone of like positivity and love And I think that's being reflected back to us. I think people are seeing that we're genuine about it, that we want to do something positive, that we're here to work and to like, you know, really do our part, that we're not here to just take advantage of people. And I think people respect that. And I think that's part of the reason why we've had such a warm reception so far.
And I to piggyback on that, everybody in the neighborhood saw us working the last
2 months.
8 weeks. Yeah, exactly. They saw us working. They saw us painting. They saw us sanding. They saw us ruining all of our clothes.
Yeah, I have no more clothes.
Ruining
all
all
my
of our
clothes are covered in
sneakers.
paint and glue.
Trying to come here kind of fresh. We're like, fresh guys working. Not anymore. So.
Yeah.
Nah, but people really showed us a lot of love in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because they really respected that we did pretty much all the work ourselves.
La bouche, my friend.
Right?
I mean, it's when you look like the neighborhood, you look like them, they're going to welcome you. And that's very important, especially, you know, coming from Miami where there is a lot of gentrification happening. And I'm sure the same thing happens here. So when you look like the people in the neighborhood, they're a lot more welcoming to you.
I'll also say this, though. This neighborhood, obviously, I'm just recently a part of it, but it's very diverse. For me, in a great way. We get people from so many different countries and backgrounds. Every day we're meeting people who look like us, but people who also don't look like us. People who might look like us, but don't speak the same language. It's a really unique, interesting experience. I think it's part of the draw of this place. I think this place is kind of starting to become like a hub to meet different people.
That's dope.
Yeah. And I think that's what we want. I think we want it to become this kind of meeting place where like, damn, yo, you really live around the corner? I've never seen you. Oh shit, what's your name?
Dope. Let's talk about the business aspect of it, because I think that it's so important, you know, to talk about that. What are the difficulties? How do you get started? What are the things you do? I think so many people start businesses and either it's a, you know, taboo to talk about the hardships. You don't want to share too much. And I think as minorities, you want to give people tips and stepping stones so that they can also move forward and start businesses and prosper. So what are some of the things that you all had to do when you decide we're starting a business, then what?
I'll actually let you take that.
Oh, thanks for letting me take that. All right.
Yes. Hell yeah.
So this is not my first business. I've had another brick and mortar business in the studio in Fort Lauderdale. I also have a Turo business. Had a few different businesses. I've learned a lot of expensive lessons. And I think what I've learned over time is how to recognize a genuine opportunity. For me, what made me want to do this with Erick was the fact that I felt he was going to do it with or without me. He was going to do it no matter what, and I could come to the table and make it better.
Yes. Sorry, my bad. Let me stop you right there, Mike. I gotta stop you right there. Absolutely.
A lot of people get excited. You get excited and you say, man, I'm going to start this business, but you don't really know what you're doing. Or you get excited because somebody sells you on their dream, but that person who has that dream is not taking steps toward it. And a lot of times you, as the good-hearted person, come in and take over their dream for them, and they put that weight on your shoulders, and then you realize when it's too late, oh, this guy's not even doing anything. He just wanted me to do it for him. I saw Erick in action. I saw him when he was working at Zummi, which was a restaurant in Soho. I saw when he was cooking. So this space looked completely different. Okay. This space was essentially a storage closet. It had equipment everywhere. The ceiling was orange. The walls were red. It was like kind of scary when you walked in. But he was over there cooking for the bar next door, and he was hustling. And that's why I say when he came to me with the opportunity, I took that into account, that he was already hustling. I also took into account his experience in the past as a restaurant manager for corporate brands. Again, these corporate brands put a lot of money into flying him around the world to go open their concepts. So for me, I said, okay, if I'm going to invest cash and muscle and heart and spirit into this thing and
lots of
shit all the time, right, where I don't get to see my daughter, I have to do this with somebody who's really serious. And so for me, that was the most important thing. I saw that he was serious by his action, not just by the words. I was able to then commit to being a part of this with him. I was...
So to all the people who have less experience in business, a piece of advice that I can give to them is, number one, get yourself a mentor. I asked the universe for a mentor in business development. Don't get me wrong, I can run almost any restaurant that's 20 years of experience of running restaurants. I could do that stuff with my eyes closed. However, when it comes to business development, I think when people get an opportunity to open a business, they don't really think about what's going to happen in 5 years. Who can I go to for advice and asking questions? I've been coming to him for advice for about 20 years. Anytime there's a new project, I'm like, yo, I got this new thing going on. What do you think? Or I'm about to do this, or I'm about to switch over this job. I'm like, yo, what do you think? But specifically for this, I did need business development mentorship, and I got that because that's somebody who's been working for themselves for about 15 years, and I needed that. And I think if you're going to open a business, find someone that you trust that can give you some really great advice that won't steer you wrong. And again, I'm really grateful, feel really lucky that I have such a great business partner.
Yeah.
Man. It's
embarrassing.
But for real, it is about being able to trust somebody to help you make the best decisions. Not every decision is going to be right, but you want to make better decisions to make your project better.
Yeah.
And I think bringing in Drew on this really made this project better. Because like you said, I would have did it with or without him.
Right.
But it's better that it's with him.
Gotcha. As we kind of wrap up, what are, some of the, let's just say 5 years from now, what are you hoping you would have accomplished with the cafe?
So for me, the biggest thing, I want this cafe to live beyond the space of these walls. One of the things that we're exploring is doing smorgasbord and kind of traveling with the concept of some of these items. But I really want this brand to grow. I want Antilles Cafe to be synonymous within this African diaspora, Caribbean diaspora, as like kind of a beacon of unity, but also of like something cool. Yeah, we can do something elevated. I want to see people knowing the brand, even if they don't know me.
Branding is very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add?
So 5 years from this, again, I agree with Drew. I want to see the brand grow and develop. I would like to see this again, maybe across the United States. I'd like to see more of this, or at least in more than one place in New York at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that especially for this neighborhood, and if I'm going to be frank, deserves this. It deserves this cafe, and I think other neighborhoods that we'll go to deserve something nice. This is nice. This is nice for this neighborhood. People really haven't seen anything like this before, and I want to kind of put that out there all across New York, at least.
People to be able to see what can be accomplished.
Yeah, nice, but also accessible.
Right.
But, it's not
That balance is
expensive.
important.
Yeah, it's really important for this neighborhood that you can sit somewhere, have a nice meal, not feel pressured, and then go the fuck home.
Yeah. Well, I cannot wait to see everything that you all do and accomplish. I can't wait to give more feedback and tips that become something.
Yeah.
nothing too labor-intensive, please.
I did want to leave you all with something. So part of the episode is that I always bring something out to see if if the guest resonates with it. And
One second here.
so are both of you
There are no cookies.
I was gonna say, do you have a hole in your shirt? Yeah. Who's got a hole in their shirt? Sew up their stocking.
That is so funny.
First of all, Roxy, don't fucking trick me here. Don't fucking trick me with delicious cookies when we know it's not delicious.
You know
cookies.
there's no cookies in there, bro.
That
Come on.
is
I know it's not delicious cookies.
I just love how every time we bring it out, every Caribbean household has the same feeling.
Yo,
So-
nigga, there's a seal on there.
Yes, because
It's not a trick.
Because you know, it being the first time that the podcast left Miami and came over to a different city, you welcomed us with open arms. So I'm passing a tradition where I am giving you a fresh tin.
Thank you.
There are cookies.
Wow. I've
And
never
so
tried these
now-
cookies.
And so now you have your own tin can to
Thank
do
you.
with what you please.
First of all, let's hurry up and throw out those cookies so we can reuse this tin for something.
So I came to, bring you all
Thank
this
you.
gift to
Thank you.
have
That's
your own
beautiful.
tin.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
So
got
thank
good
you
brand.
so much for having us here. Thank you for hosting us. And for everybody who is watching and listening, let them know name, address, what's going on so they could stay in touch with you all.
All right. So, Antilles Cafe in Flatbush, 1170 Nostrand Ave. Instagram, Antilles
of Brooklyn.
Antilles of Brooklyn, so we don't step on each other because they can't hear us if we're both talking. Antilles of Brooklyn. What's that? Antilles of Brooklyn.
Antilles of Brooklyn.
What's the days and hours?
Oh my God! Right now it's like every day, all day.
Every day we open at 7:30 for right now.
We are going to take a day off soon. We're trying to figure out which day that's going to be. But right now, whenever you show up, we'll be here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Amazing. So thank you everyone for tuning in for season 2. This is it. This is a wrap. We'll be back for season 3 soon. Thank you for everyone who came.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yo soy boricua.